with pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up,
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. I appreciate y'all joining me. However you may be joining me, whether that's 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be listening online at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you happen to be watching the show live on YouTube. You can stream all of our shows live right there. Just go to SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You're able to comment along with the show as it happens. Or feel free to call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. We get a Game 7 in the NBA after the Pacers just put it on Oklahoma City last night, refused to go down quietly. And Morning Huddle, Rob and AJ, they were talking about how the Pacers were able to force this Game 7 that we're going to get on Sunday night.
AJ's an idiot! Well, dude, I feel like the announcer. You ever watch Rocky movies and notice the announcers at the beginning are always wrong? I'm that guy. I'm the announcer in the Rocky movies. I pick the fight wrong every time.
There's no chance Rocky can come back in this one.
This Apollo Creed is unbeatable, I tell you.
Balboa's a tough character, but it's too much of a beating.
This Ivan Drago, he's not even human.
We've seen him come back from worse, but that's not happening today. And then Rocky's like, hey,
so every one of them, I'm wrong.
Don't look out me out.
So I pick Rock again.
You see that he say, hey, Adrian said, don't fight. And I'm like, hey, what do you mean? I'm a fighter.
So I'm an idiot. I'll admit.
Yeah, man.
What the hell was that, man? Somebody needs to kick those kids in the ass. What the hell was that?
I am not here to try to make excuses for what I saw last night. I was wrong. But God, you talk about a no-show. This was the worst case scenario for the Thunder. Well, first of all, the first 5 minutes of the game,
it was 10-2.
Yeah, it looked like the Thunder were going to humiliate the Pacers, and I was like, "Oh boy!" I, as someone who had money on the Thunder, I wasn't looking forward to a game like that. So Pacers made a run, and I was like, "Okay, maybe we're going to have a competitive game here." And then the run kept going and going and going, and then it was awkwardly bad the other way. I was like, "Well, I guess I should have just settled for the beat down the way that my money was looking." The thing that happened in my mind is the Pacers played with the desperation of a team that knew they had to win to survive. Yeah. And Oklahoma City played like a team that knew there was a Game 7 at their house if they needed it. And you could tell all game long, the intensity of the Pacers was incredible. And that was the most lackadaisical
yes, but what did they expect? We say it, the hardest thing to do, and you walked in there, and do you think they were going to roll over? What a bunch of punks. Every one of you got to take the bus home. You don't get to fly. It was so embarrassing.
It was. They like this lazy passes getting picked up. Like you knew they were going to try to jump passing because I mentioned this yesterday, Rob. Indiana, what they're going to do, they know this is it. So it's going to be sacrifices. It's going to be like, we try to make big plays. And if we get beat, we get beat, but we're going to go down swinging. And they came out swinging, and Oklahoma City just played like the series was over.
They kept highlighting how young they were.
But that's garbage. You cannot in a NBA Finals, you cannot play with a level of no intensity, especially when your opponent's in an elimination game.
And how many times am I going to be wrong about this team hitting shots? I don't get them. I don't understand them. They're flawed. I don't know how it might be a maturation thing. Just you got to go through it. But to see that kind of performance, you're playing with fire, man.
Yeah,
you don't play again till Sunday. You're going to let this team percolate. And let me tell you, the Pacers have no fear now, none. They know if we play our game, we can beat you fools. Now, now it does. The roles are reversed now. They are going to be at home, and they're going to have the crowd just like the Pacers had. And I thought the Pacers had a pretty friendly ref, kind of pretty friendly system there in the second quarter. They got away with some stuff. Now, there's always the keep it close button, and that was never pushed. They never had to get there. So the spurts held on. And OKC had just brought nothing to the table. Just literally just blah performance by their star all the way to the sixth guy on the bench. It was they didn't have their coffee ahead of time, whatever it was. It was an embarrassment, man.
It really was.
And they put themselves in a situation where they could become a punchline. And that's the worst case scenario.
I mean, it's entirely possible. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Would you have pulled everybody at the end of the third?
No.
That was
I would have made them go out there and eat the bleep.
A lot of that, yes. A lot of that would have been eat some of this, but I thought that was kind of, I mean, there's always time, and you never know. And it did feel insurmountable. I'm going to say that, but that was it was pretty early ripcord.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's punishment. Maybe that's how his version of punishment.
I mean, especially when you've got 2 days off already built in.
And I legit thought, well, Saturday's going to be a bit of a wait, but now Sunday, no, that was a very awkward and uneven game.
Yep. The Thunder should be embarrassed, and we'll see how they respond to that. I don't know. Now, listen, man, there's been a lot of great teams that went on great runs. And maybe I'm wrong about the Thunder being the start of a dynasty. It's hard for me to not believe it because they're so good and so young, like it just feels inevitable. But maybe they're not. But if they are, like, make no mistake, because going to a game 7 doesn't make you any less of a dynasty. The Spurs went to a game 7 in their run. The Lakers, the Celtics of the 80s went to game 7s. I think the only one, the Heat went to a game 7. The only one I know of recently that has the only game 7 the Warriors ever saw, they lost. But it's a pretty standard thing. There at some point during a great run, there's going to be a team that pushed you. Now, this is going to be a great run, it's rare that at the start of a great run you get pushed like this. But I'm more surprised by this than I would have been with any other team, because I still believe the Pacers aren't that good.
Okay, here's the stat that is the crux of this point. They're not that good. Last night, for the first time, I think it was all season, certainly in the playoffs, that Oklahoma City did not force a turnover in the first half.
That's crazy.
Well, when you think about what defense at its essence is want to.
Yeah.
If I want to more than you, I'll play better defense than you play offense.
Yep.
Now, there's some things you can't stop, but I'll do, if I play better defense, if I just want to, that's 90% of it. And they got 0. Now, I know the Pacers pride themselves on 0 turnovers, on low turnovers.
Yeah.
But none? Come on, bro. That told me right there. When they went into the first half and they told me 0 turnovers, you guys, you didn't show up. This is a neck up thing. This is, you guys don't know how, or don't want to win tonight. One or the other. You don't either don't want to and win in front of your girlfriend, or you don't know how to.
Yeah. It felt like particularly the minutes that Shea was not on the floor, they were lost. They went on about almost a 7-minute game clock run without scoring, like the end of the first half, into the third quarter.
Yeah. Neither team started the second half very well. The chance was there.
But 7 clock minutes without scoring a point, you can't compete in an NBA game with that. It's crazy. So, and the other guy that I thought, I couldn't believe they didn't leave him on the floor more. When Hartenstein came off the floor, their effort felt like it just drained. And that's a sad state of affairs that they like, that's the guy, that's your energy guy. But it really felt like when he wasn't on the floor, they didn't have anything. He's such a good screener.
Yeah, but he's such a offensively, dude. He's so challenged.
But you know what?
I think they were trying to find some offense.
But yeah, they found a bunch of guys who were chucking bad threes.
What I don't understand, what worked, I don't know, and I probably won't go back and look at the film. But when you look at what worked when OK City looked their best, is when they started running that high pick and roll with J. Will or J. Dub and Shea Gilgeous. That worked. That unleashed both. And I don't remember seeing that at all last night. I don't remember seeing even an attempt to try that, because Jalen Williams, you started strong, 16 in the first half. What'd you finish with? 16.
Well, but you know what? Also, Jalen Williams he looked so bad defensively yesterday. And you know who else looked bad? My boy Lou Dort looked bad on defense. Like it looked like they didn't care, which is
the bus, man.
It's crazy to me because all season long this team has played with like this passion, this fire, and there was no fire last night. It was an embarrassing performance.
Don't make me want you to lose. Don't make me say, you know what?
Real.
If you don't give a damn, I don't either.
That's a dangerous game when you let one off the hook. And I have been so very much on Oklahoma City's bandwagon when it comes to they're going to win this series. They're the better team. The longer this series has worn on, I am at my lowest probably comfort level as it pertains to where I feel with it. And part of it's just the game 7. Part of it's what I saw in game 6. You guys seize that opportunity when you can. You can't be thinking we're going to go home and close this thing out. Like I saw no fight in that team last night, and my confidence level is probably at the lowest that it's been. Indiana has really, really done a good job of flummoxing all the ancillary pieces, including Shea Gilgeous-Alexander at times. And, Lou Dort didn't play well last night. Chet was god-awful, as Bohannon pointed out in the YouTube live chat. It is not great, and I'm feeling less and less confidence about Oklahoma City right now. And it's not an excuse thing. It comes down to I don't know, because you heard Rob say it. That's a neck up thing. And it's a young team, and they keep pointing out the youth and how young this team is. And there is at least when it comes to Miles Turner and how long he's been in the league, Pascal Siakam, who's been to finals and played and won, that they've got some vets mixed in with their youth over there in Indiana. And then you've got a championship coach in Rick Carlisle. Mark Dagnall's never been here. The adjustments, the time in between these games. And I don't know if I'm going to pick against Oklahoma City at home in a game 7, but my confidence level is as shook as it can be right now. And I'm actually kind of leaning Indiana, especially when he was asked last night, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, about if there was any pressure, knowing that, they have a chance to win a title. And he says,
definitely in the back of our minds, for sure. Now, we didn't play like it at all, and that's why the night went the way it did. We got exactly what we deserved, what we earned, and we have to own that.
Yeah, own it, whatever you want to do. But I saw a team that did not care the other night. And that's a heart thing. That's a will thing. That's a want to thing. And I don't know if you could just dial that up in a game 7. Now, the fans in Oklahoma City are definitely going to help with that. They can bring that effort level up, whatever they may have been missing for that game. But at some point, that's something you got to draw from within yourself. So it's going to be very interesting. I am stoked. Remember, you can catch Game 7 right here on San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the NBA Finals. We will be bringing you that game starting at 6 o'clock with the pregame tip-off set for 7 o'clock. And then on Monday, when we're back, we'll be reacting to whoever is the NBA champion. I'll let you know before the end of the show, but I may be switching I've been riding Oklahoma City this whole time. Best team in the NBA all season long. Pacers might be playing the best basketball right now. But I'll let you know before the show ends which way I'm truly going to lean, and if I can hop off that Oklahoma City bandwagon when my foot is put to the actual fire. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, and on YouTube. Of course, you can join along with the show, comment along with the show. I see the Drew Show in there saying Oklahoma City this season is on the rise when established powerhouses were on the decline. Dallas went rogue. We all got fooled. Counting on the downsides of Memphis continuing to slide and how they all fired their coaches. Warriors also on the downside. Yeah. And I don't think Minnesota's there yet. We'll see if it was all a mirage or not, but it's going to be very interesting. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. The NBA draft is coming up on Wednesday, and we are going to have the number 2 pick, potentially, number 14 pick. Blitz is going to be live out at the Root Pub. You get to watch it, potentially draft Dylan Harper, but could one of those picks be used to lure a Kevin Durant to San Antonio? Well, we got the latest when it comes to the Durant, the rumors, and what the San Antonio Spurs are poised to do with the NBA draft coming up. Brett Siegel of Clutch Points joined earlier today on the Blitz. We'll give you that interview when we come back here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
South Texas summer is no joke. With temperatures in the triple digits, your roof takes a beating. Call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. They're local, family-owned, and ready to help. Get a free, no-obligation roof inspection from a team that knows South Texas weather. Whether it's commercial or residential, a small repair, or a whole new roof, get peace of mind with Stevens Roofing. Call 210-785-0994 today. Stevens Roofing has you covered.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is on now. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. Violence prevention is injury prevention.
911, what's your emergency?
Keep guns locked, secure, and out of reach of children. Firearms are the leading cause of death for people under 20. Never leave a gun in your vehicle. Stolen firearms are often used in other crimes. In a moment of conflict, don't let a split decision become a lifetime of regret. Never celebrate with gunfire. It's dangerous and illegal. Prevent an injury, store guns safely. Learn more at sa.gov/health.
At Natural Bridge Caverns, the passage of time and moving water have carved out a massive underground creation. Hidden Wonders, our newest cave tour. Watch thousands of lights reveal otherworldly sculptures in a massive canyon with a sound and light show finale. Or visit the largest of our two caverns with a discovery tour, winding through majestic rooms with incredible formations. Above ground, top off your adventure with a zip along the sky rails on our towering ropes course. Choose your adventure at naturalbridgecaverns.com.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Appreciate all y'all for riding along with me tonight as we take you up till 7 o'clock. And then, remember, NBA Finals right here, Sunday night, 6 o'clock on San Antonio Sports Star. After that, it's the draft, which we will also have for you here on San Antonio Sports Star come Wednesday night. And we're getting the latest on the rumors surrounding the San Antonio Spurs, number 2 pick, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We went straight to the source. Clutch Points NBA insider Brett Siegel ended up joining Jason today on the Blitz as they were breaking down the latest as it pertains to the San Antonio Spurs, with all the rumors and smoke that seems to be coming out of the rock out there at La Cantera.
Seems like the Kevin Durant decision-making time frame, that clock, could it happen today at some point this weekend? What's the latest you're hearing?
Not just a regular Friday afternoon, Jason. It is a very busy Friday afternoon because it is a Friday before Game 7 of the NBA Finals on Sunday. It's a Friday before the NBA draft begins on Wednesday. And we're zoning in on free agency and the trade market. There's so much going on right now. And at the very front of it, like you mentioned, is Kevin Durant and where he is going to potentially end up in a trade. We're talking about a 2-time Finals MVP, one of the best scorers of all time. And teams around the league are not looking at him with his full value right now because he's on an expiring contract. Teams are looking to take advantage of the Suns because of that. Phoenix doesn't want to budge on their asking price. And right now, we're in a big game of cat and mouse of who's going to fold first.
Well, and again, I think about this game of chicken being played or cat and mouse. if the Spurs are, as it's been reported, his preferred destination, and by all accounts they made an offer that they're willing to make, and that was it, right? This is all they're willing to offer up to get Kevin Durant, and everything that I've read about that offer, I'm down with that, and I don't expect the Spurs to overspend for a Kevin Durant. But will these other teams, at what point will Phoenix have to realize what they want and what they are going to get are two different things?
Yeah, so let's talk about the Spurs first since you brought them up. We released a big story this morning on Clutch Points going in depth of all 5 teams that are pursuing Kevin Durant, having ongoing conversations with the Suns. The San Antonio Spurs fit in that category, but there is a caveat. The Spurs have made an offer. That is their offer. They are not going to outbid themselves. They are not going to get into a bidding war with other teams, it seems like. They made their offer. That's what they're willing to give up for Kevin Durant at this time. And it does not seem like that they will go and say, you know what, we're going to give you the second pick, or we're going to give you Stephon Castle. That is not the case. Neither player, to my knowledge, has been involved in these trade talks for Durant. And the Spurs are confident that even if they don't get Kevin Durant, they're still on a great path to success and to build around De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. They have the second pick. They're going to be taking Dylan Harper unless some magical trade happens between now and the draft, but all indications point in the direction of them taking Harper. They'll have 3 very high-level guards in their backcourt. Some may question, well, why is that? Because it creates flexibility. If all 3 work out and they can play well together, great. If not, it opens up the door to pursue other superstars down the road, whether that be Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jaylen Brown, or another star that hits the market out there. But as it relates to Kevin Durant right now for the San Antonio Spurs, they are not going to get into a bidding war, and they will not be increasing their offer.
You know, and again, that doesn't surprise me. Do you think what will ultimately happen, keeping it centered on San Antonio, that Phoenix will get their best offer from Miami, get their best offer from Houston? But part of me, and I'm asking, if Kevin Durant isn't willing to sign an extension somewhere, will those teams rescind the offer? How much leverage does Kevin Durant have in where he ultimately ends up? And because you could add in Minnesota, which reports are they're interested, but he's not.
Right. And I was just going to bring that up. I think that it factors in for Minnesota, where they have a package that the Suns would potentially accept at this point. But the Timberwolves have been hesitant about trading for Kevin Durant because they don't have that long-term commitment. They don't have that yes, that he would sign a long-term extension, and why give up all those assets for 1 year of Kevin Durant? That's where the Timberwolves holdup is. When you look at these other 2 teams, though, the Houston Rockets and the Miami Heat, he would be willing to stay there past this season. That's been reported. Those are his preferred destinations alongside San Antonio. And there's a holdup, though, with both teams. From the Rockets' perspective, it's their unwillingness to include young talents like Jabari Smith Jr. and future draft picks that they had gotten last offseason from the Brooklyn Nets. They acquired some of the Phoenix Suns future picks that were originally traded out for Kevin Durant in hopes that they could then flip those picks again for Kevin Durant or for Devin Booker in a future trade. That's Houston that we're talking about. They don't want to give up those picks at this time, and as a result, the package that they're offering that features Jalen Green as a headliner just is not good enough for Phoenix to want to make that deal right now. When you go to South Beach and what Pat Riley's offering from Miami, it's a package centered around Andrew Wiggins, obviously a good player, but not enough to get Kevin Durant. They want Khalil Ware, a rookie big man, 7-footer, had a great season. He was an all-rookie performer. He has yet to be included in these trade discussions from what I have been told about everything surrounding the Miami Heat at this time. If the Heat do include Ware in this trade package and they're willing to give up the 20th pick as well, there is a path for them getting a Kevin Durant trade done over the weekend.
Going to be very interesting as we follow it, as we visit now with Brett Siegel, NBA insider for Clutch Points. And you think about all the different maneuvering that could be made. And the Spurs have been very quiet over the last week. And my guess is at this point, he's probably not going to come here to San Antonio unless, of course, everything else just doesn't work out or he has some sort of mandate. I don't expect the Spurs to increase their offer by much, if at all. But that said, when do you expect a deal to get done? Is this something that needs to get done from a Phoenix perspective before Wednesday's draft, and obviously then with enough time for them to prepare for whatever they get ahead of Wednesday's draft?
I think that there's two ways to look at it. From the outside and from these teams that are pursuing Kevin Durant, yes, they want to get a deal done before the draft if they are going to acquire Kevin Durant, because some of these teams that are involved have draft picks that could potentially be involved in that trade package, and that's where the value lies. If this goes past the draft, they lose that leverage. It now comes down to giving up players and trying to figure out your salary cap in trades while also maneuvering free agency. That's why those teams want to get a trade done now for Kevin Durant. From the opposite perspective, from the Suns' perspective, they want to just get value. They don't want to give up Kevin Durant, who's still one of the best players, one of the best scorers in the league to this day. They don't want to necessarily just give him up for anything. They're not going to help a rival team out by any means. They're going to want to create leverage for themselves and get value back, just like how they gave up guys like Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and all those draft picks originally to Brooklyn. So when you look at it from the Suns' perspective, there is a little bit sense of urgency to get something done before the draft. But if the right package does not present itself, they're not going to rush things. They're going to hold on to Kevin Durant and say, you know what, maybe this is something that plays out similar to how Damian Lillard worked out with the Portland Trailblazers, and they got a deal done with the Milwaukee Bucks right before that season began a few years back. Maybe we see something similar happen with Kevin Durant. The team isn't willing to up their ante at this point over the next few days.
Brett Siegel, if you want to catch that interview in its entirety, go to sasportstar.com via the AA Best Bail Bonds audio vault. Check it out right there. Look, it's going to be very interesting as the draft gets close. Once it passes, doesn't mean anything is over or off the table, obviously, especially with Kevin Durant, because this could be something that plays out before the start of the season, like you said, or maybe even at the trade deadline if they hold on to him. It's going to be very, very interesting to watch how this unfolds and what the Spurs are actually going to do this off season in terms of constructing this roster around Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox, and Steph Castle. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, Game 7, predictions. What did the morning huddle think? What do I think? We'll get into it coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist, with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it, like that. Ask your phone, group chat, smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time, no waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
Summer days just got even brighter with Kohl's epic deals. Get this, you can score tees for just $5.99, bedding for 60% off, comfy shorts only $7.99, and so much more. You do not want to miss out. Shop Kohl's epic deals for savings on all things summer now, before it's too late. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends June 22nd. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Don Henley actually has a story.
Don Henley from the Eagles?
Eagles, yeah. One time, Joe Walsh filled a 3-room suite at the Chateau Marmont with 4,000 pounds of Velveeta cheese. Also, 170 pounds of Rotel tomatoes with diced chilies. And that is why the Eagles will never again stay at the Chateau Marmont.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on Twitter at I am Pledger on all social media. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. Game 7 in the NBA loadings on Sunday. You can catch it here on your home for the NBA Finals, San Antonio Sports Star. It all begins at 6 o'clock. Tip-off set for 7 this weekend. But where do we stand in terms of now that we have made it to Game 7? And this has been a very, very Oklahoma City heavy media station. Like everybody that I know has really been all in on Oklahoma City. Does that change now that we've gotten to Game 7? Are the Pacers going to get the respect they're due? Here are the predictions for Rob and AJ earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle.
I guess we need to give a final prediction on what happens in Game 7 because we won't be on the air before then.
Oklahoma City's going to beat them. I mean, they're going to win.
What certainty do you have at this point?
I think it's
like how good do you feel about saying that?
Even if you give the Pacers all the credit in the world for everything they did, and you go, okay, what did they do, and how did they do it? And the first thing that they did, most importantly, is they didn't turn the ball over. So you go, okay, can they do that again in a hostile environment? I just don't think so. I just don't think that ball security is easy when you're on the road, and I just don't think they're going to face as lackadaisical or expectant kind of defense that they saw in the first half. Now, I'm not saying it won't be competitive, it won't be close, but turnovers matter. And when the Pacers have lost, it's because of that. And I just don't see them going to be able to hold on to the ball the way that they did on the road. And I think the same thing that gave the Pacers that momentum, crowd and refs, I think OKC will be the recipient of that this time.
It's wild that Oklahoma City was, I mean, they were 32-8 on the road this year. They were so good on the road, and they have really just kind of underwhelmed on the road in the playoffs.
Yep. Well, they've made such a big point of this being the second youngest team in the finals of all time. And you know, how do you tell me that without telling me that? Tell me what you're doing on the road and how you give away games. That tells me youth.
And dude, I mean, listen, I crapped on Halliburton when he was awful handling the ball. Shea last night, that's the worst I've seen him look as a ball handler and a creator. To have 8 turnovers in a finals game is unacceptable when you're the best player in the world or supposed to be the best player in the world.
And he's being triple teamed. Let's not kid ourselves.
No, you're right.
But
there was a lot of it was
is
laziness that cost him.
Get out of it. Stop that third dribble that you're trying to get through. You're not getting it. When that third dribble, you're dribbling into trouble, man. You're in the forest at that point. You're going to have to regulate yourself. So I get you're getting triple teamed. That's the design, but you're going to have to just be better, Mr. MVP.
Is turnovers the deciding factor in Game 7?
Well, shooting percentage and turnovers, depending on how you want to look at it, and one can balance out the other. If the Pacers turn the ball over more, and you just expect it, they better hit threes. And if the Oklahoma City Thunder aren't getting turnovers, they better hit jump shots. So I think it's going to be a combination of the two, but those are the two most important factors.
I would throw rebounding in as the third one, and the Pacers dominated all 3 last night. Yeah. 3-point percentage, rebounding, turnovers. They dominated the 3 stats.
All the 1-2 hustle stats. I bet every 50-50 ball went the other way. I bet they lost every loose ball. All those things that are unquantifiable, but when they're not there. That was Indiana. They got it all.
And you know what? The Pacers had some clean looks too. I mean, the Thunder had some clean looks in the first half specifically.
Yes.
And just missed a bunch of shots. And dude, I mean, there is that. That's the scary thought about 3-point variance it's one thing to look at a game like last night. If you look at it just in a vacuum and say, oh, it's 3-point variance game. They shot really well. We shot really poorly. That happens. But now the scary thing is you're one bad 3-point variance game away from being finished, dead. So now it's a scary place that the Thunder have put themselves in. And quite frankly, I'll still say I still think they're as good as I thought they were, but quite frankly, a team as good as this should not be in this position. And it's disappointing that they're even here.
That's the discussion that's being had. I mean, you guys made this bed. This was all you. And yes, the Pacers played really well, but you let them play well. You opened the door and they went through it. You allowed them by your lack of effort to succeed in ways that they hadn't been able to succeed before, especially with a dude that, whether he was wounded or not, they did come in a little shorthanded. And the collapse is cataclysmic. You look at the headlines across the country, we're not alone in this. Everybody saw that and said, that was a damn disgrace. Now, can you come back from it? Kids have short memories. They are the more talented team. They are going back home where they're really tough to beat.
Yep.
And, you'd just expect that they regress again to the norm. But now we play into that one external factor that you cannot measure or quantify. How do you react under pressure when things get tight and the sphincter is cracking into diamonds? Are you ready to compete? And right now, Oklahoma City and all of their fans, us included, look at them and go, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know if you got it.
If Obi Toppin outplays Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in Game 7,
it's over.
We're gonna have to have a real come to Jesus meeting on Monday about what Shea is and what this Thunder team is. And obviously he's young. There's still a long way to go. But boy, I always say this: I don't want superstars to get away with not being questioned when they fail. And because once we put this crown on these guys, I don't want to make excuses for you anymore, because you know who no one ever makes excuses for when he fails? LeBron James. And I always say, if you want to be a superstar, I'm going to give you that treatment. And when you fail, I'm going to say, what the hell? That's why when people are like, oh, why are you hating on Jason Tatum? He's in a wheelchair. It's like, dude, Jason Tatum wants to be, you want to be looked like this? You want to be looked at as a superstar?
I'm glad you brought up Tatum. Shea could slip into that. Yeah, you're good, but you're soft. Yeah, you're good. You're a front runner. I appreciate your game, but you're soft. You can't come from back. You're going to have to change the narrative.
And you know what? There's been a lot of guys who put up a bunch of numbers and didn't ever have a title to show for it. James Harden comes to mind. I don't think that's a road that Shea is headed down, because I think his game is so versatile, but it'd be a bad start.
You're not allowed to have games like that 2 in a row. You're not allowed to have series like that if you're an MVP. It sticks.
He has got to be better.
Remember, David was for a long time the Little Mermaid until he won a title. You're the Little Mermaid, man. You're soft.
Yep.
Well, we can say that about Chet Holmgren for sure, because he's feels like he's coming up very small in these moments for such a tall human being. But I'm starting to lean Indiana. I really am. Part of me thinks it's a mental thing, and sure, the home crowd can carry you and give you a boost, but at some point that's going to wear off, and it's got to come from within. And the Pacers have dug deep all the way. And while I thought Oklahoma City has been the best team all season long, the Pacers have been one of the best teams since like March, and they are 7-4 on the road this year, including winning one in Oklahoma City already, stealing game 1. Now, the Thunder are 10-2 at home this year, so there is that. And this could, if Oklahoma City runs away with this early and puts it to bed kind of the way that Indiana did last night, that's one thing. But if this game's close, I like Rick Carlisle. He's a championship coach. I like Pascal Siakam. He's a championship player. You have a 10-year vet and Miles Turner. Like, there is a lot more that have been through kind of these fires on Indiana than there is with Oklahoma City. You've got Alex Caruso, who won a bubble title. Cool. I don't think that's enough experience. And Alex Caruso cannot be as bad as he was in this. Like they need floor spacing. That's why they brought Caruso in 3 and D, and they're not getting the 3 from Alex Caruso right now. They're not getting anything from Chet Holmgren. They're not getting anything from Lou Dort. They're not getting anything from their other contributors not named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Jalen Williams fell off a cliff from game 5 to game 6. He went from 40 points to 16. And they need more help surrounding Shai Gilgeous-Alexander if they're going to win this game. But right now, when it comes down to it, I'm going to go with the experience, and I'm going to take Rick Carlisle, Pascal Siakam, and the Indiana Pacers on the road in a game 7. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the show and get you ready for your weekend as it is time to celebrate. It is a long weekend for some, hopefully most of y'all. So we'll find out. But Fred Records on our YouTube Live says Siakam has a ring. He'll do it. B. Hannon says it's tough playing in OKC. I don't disagree with that. I also think the Pacers are equipped to deal with the crowd noise and the home court advantage that Oklahoma City does have. We'll see. More of your calls and comments coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Imagine owning coastal land with ocean views and world-class fishing just off Matagorda Bay. Well, dream no more. Saturday, June 28th. Mark your calendars for a pre-4th of July one-day coastal land sale at Driftwood Shores at Wolf Point. We're unveiling incredible coastal properties. We're talking 1+ acre waterfront properties starting at $99.9. Yes, $99.9. With a barn dominium from just $169.9. Wow! This gated community boasts a waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, your own boat slip and launch with paved roads and underground utilities. It's all happening Saturday, June 28th. 1+ acre Texas coastal waterfront, $99.9. With barn dominium, just $169.9. Call now for your private tour at 210-853-0389. Excellent financing is available. Don't wait another minute. Call 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Freedom starts with land, and land like this won't last long.
George gets justice.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we don't just represent crash victims, we fight for them. When an accident impacts your life, my team and I are committed to obtaining the justice you deserve. We approach every case with dedication because each one is personal to us. Our promise, no payment unless we win. Call 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Eczema flaring up again. We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with 250 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
At Natural Bridge Caverns, the passage of time and moving water have carved out a massive underground creation. Hidden Wonders, our newest cave tour. Watch thousands of lights reveal otherworldly sculptures in a massive canyon with a sound and light show finale. Or visit the largest of our 2 caverns with a discovery tour, winding through majestic rooms with incredible formations. Above ground, top off your adventure with a zip along the sky rails on our towering ropes course. Choose your adventure at naturalbridgecaverns.com.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Appreciate all of y'all for riding through with me tonight. We have a Game 7 coming up on Sunday. Remember, you can catch that game right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We're your home for the NBA Finals. Taking a look at some of the comments coming through as we get caught up before we send you into the weekend here. Frank Mateo says Thunder are tired and have nothing left. Maybe. Could be the case. They exert a lot of energy, and it has been a long season, and it has been a long series. They've had 2 7-game series with this one, and previously they took Denver to 7. So Fred Record says Pacers because I've said it, it's the coaching. I mean, coaching plays a big part. Siakam has a ring. He will do it. I don't want to write off Oklahoma City because I'm impressed with everything that they've done all year long. And I do think that that is the better overall team. I don't know if they're ready for the moment. And this is going to be a very big man meets moment opportunity for Oklahoma City. Can they rise to it? I hope so. That'd be great for that city, for that fan base, for that community. Part of me also just don't want to hear freaking Indiana fans talking about how they invented basketball anymore. I know that's coming. Like Indiana fans, Hoosier fans, they'll let you know. They think basketball was invented by Indianans. So part of me doesn't want to deal with that, but I also get why Spurs fans don't want Chet to win a title before Wemby. But watch it. Got to build the team right around Wemby, and that starts this coming Wednesday. Don't forget, Sunday, NBA Finals Game 7 starts at 6 o'clock here on San Antonio Sports Star. Call and check on your loved ones. You never know what people are going through in life. Until then, we will see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
94.1 FM, San Antonio.
You know, the Rue Part has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around.